Hello, everybody. Another episode, another day, and with me today is the lovely Rory from Dataloft. Hi, mate. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm very good, very good.
Nice.
Fresh
Thanks
off
for
the train from Bonnie, Scotland.
Yeah, you've moved recently, haven't you? So, how
Yeah.
is life up there?
It's lovely.
More
Yeah.
beach walks and
Lots of beaches, lots of golf,
yeah.
incredible weather. Balmy.
But when you get a sunny day and a sunny morning up there, it's beautiful.
Oh,
Right?
it's heaven. Beaches are empty. There's not too many people.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it. Yeah. And yeah, spending a lot of time on the LNER
I was
train,
going to say,
bobbing up
but you,
and down the East Coast.
yeah, yeah.
Hence why I'm in Grantham
Sunny
today.
Grantham today, yeah. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who have been maybe living under a rock or just new to the industry, Rory it works for a company, runs a company called Dataloft, and a bit like ONS, Land Registry, they are but we always say they make sense of the noise of data. So you pull together like huge, like vast resources of data and you make them manageable and easy to understand and easy to read. Like, how does that all work?
Well, it's a bit of tech involved. Obviously, we have a tech platform, but we have a team of analysts behind the scenes.
Right.
So, our data is, it's very carefully managed. And we have a team of analysts with lots of experience who get maximum value out of it. And then we make sense of it. We find stories and trends from huge data sets. And then what we do with Dataloft is we package them up into lots and lots of content. And the idea really was that any agent anywhere, regardless of how much confidence or skill they have with data, can talk about the market. They've got evidence to demonstrate that they know what's going on in the market. And yeah, it started off really as how do we get huge sets of data to people, the huge set like the land registry, for example, we've got 26 million records. How do we bring that to life really quickly, really succinctly at a local level? And then once we'd sort of, managed to do that from a tech perspective, we launched Dataloft, and it very quickly, as we added lots of other bits and pieces like our infographics that people are really familiar with, became a marketing content tool.
Most people will say, "Oh, that's a bit geeky. That's data. That's you're a nerd." And obviously, Chris Watkin as well as we do, and he loves stats and data and trends, and that's the most interesting thing for me is that from these huge data sets, your skilled sort of colleagues and team can see those trends, whether it's house prices going up or down, or stuff that probably your local Joe on the street would miss when actually there's a huge story there on what's happening with X, Y, and Z, and then you present that in a way that I guess is keeping that the agent that subscribes from you, but they're keeping them as the local property expert.
Yeah, a market report. For anyone that doesn't know, it's basically it's often 2 pages or 1 page, and it's a summary of the market. So what's happening locally with prices, with transactions, etc. And it starts off as a really professional, polished bit of collateral, but then we work with the most creative agents who are they blow our minds with how they bring this to life. So it's all well and good having access to it, but then saying about what do you do with it. So a humble market report will evolve into something that they will post out to people, or something that they will sit in front of a video camera and talk about the market with, because we've done the work for them, so they can confidently talk about what's happening locally.
Most good agents, and there's thousands of great agents out there, but they do know what they're talking about. But with sprinkling a little bit of your sort of evidence-based facts on top, they really stand out, I guess.
I think it's really, they do know what they're talking. They know the market better than anyone else. I think it's having what adds gravitas is being able to prove that point. So to have, that they can say that Land Registry is showing this, or the Office of National Statistics is showing this, or the latest mortgage numbers are this, or whatever. And it's very much sort of adding gravitas and context to their local market knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, the market report it's social media, it's email content, it's lead bait for website. It's something that could be taken out to valuations.
Yeah, people often do that we speak to.
Agents will. So if you're looking for an edge as an agent in a valuation, actually little tiny marginal gains, like how professional the pitch is, Some are incredible at this. Others might not be so confident. But if you take out a market report, for example, and you have it in front of you, and you talk about, well, actually it's interesting. Prices are actually dropping a little bit or going up, or yeah, there's been the number of sales in the market recently, and you start talking about the market, but you've obviously got the evidence in front of you, and then you present it to the person.
Yeah.
Say, I'd love to give this to you, and if you're up for it, we'll email it to you once a month because we like to keep you up to date with the market.
Yeah.
Now, just little things like that take you to the next level of sophistication, and they'll remember that, creating that recognition that, oh, actually, they were quite impressive when I met them.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they've stayed in touch.
Yeah, because let's face it, they're probably going to be one of 2 or 3 at least that are going to get invited out to value the home, or whatever the transaction is. But to be memorable, I mean, I was doing some online training with another company, Akaboom, but and we were talking about how to be emotional and engaging in a video that you, like a post-val video that you send to a client, and quite often that, like you said, it's almost like Dave Brailsford marginal gains, where every agent's doing the basic and probably all doing the basic really well, but you do need to find those little sort of standout points that will make you memorable, right? To either be invited back again or, and I've never thought of it like that before, but even if you don't win that business, the fact that you've now sort of made them a little bit stickier to you over the next few years by monthly sending them a weekly report, or a monthly report, then you're going to stay almost front of mind when they do decide to move again or rent.
I think, like, I often talk about it as we give agents the excuse to stay in touch, because there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing pushy or salesy about sharing.
Have some free
information. We'd like to keep you up to date with what's happening in the market.
Yeah, there's no sales in it whatsoever.
We'll send you an email every month. Is that okay? And so what you've created is an excuse to kind of create that long-term conversation, because they might not be ready to move there and then. If they do, and they instruct you, and you're done within the next 3 months, you might not hear from them again for years. They might stay where they are for a long time. On the other hand, they may move again, and they've got friends and family and a big network of people who are going to say good things about you.
Especially if you could leave that impression of, wow, he was good.
Yeah.
Because you're that level up again, aren't you, with just all this ammunition in your arsenal. I mean,
there's an interest. So there's other different with an agent as well. It's about thinking about different revenue streams and where else could I get new business from? It's, I suppose, especially if a market has become slightly slower from a sales perspective. So we have one of our market reports we've got is we call it a local profile report. So that has really interesting stats from the census, and it looks about local demographics and what kind of jobs do people do and how do they travel to work and those sort of rich kind of local bits of information. And we have some agents that will take that out to a viewing. So they've got a room full of, or a house full of people that are looking at a property. And instead of just showing them around and waving them off, they'll give this report to them. So I thought you might be interested in reading this as well, especially if you're moving into the area from somewhere else.
Don't have to use us, but
and then it's again, if you're up for it, we can email that to you every month, and then suddenly you're staying in touch with potential buyers as well.
In terms of, I know you've sort of had some new things go off at Dataloft recently. Like, how are they is the service going to change for customers, or does that look different, or are you offering even more than you were before? How does that all look? Or is it totally embargoed and we should
No. I mean, it's really exciting times. So 2024 is a big year.
Right.
So we kick off in the autumn with a revamped version of Dataloft, our online platform.
Excellent. New look, or just by name?
It will have a refreshed look. All of the market reports, flyers and letters have all had a fresh look of paint. We've got more outputs than ever. We've got a lot more rental data coming through. Lots of new data sets, easier kind of navigation around the platform. Lots more quick fixes. So a lot more outputs that can go straight to social media, for example. So we know that people are time restrained.
Yes.
So we try to get them, they can log in, grab their content, put it straight out as quickly as possible.
Taking away pain points and clicks and time.
Yeah. So I mean, the you know, we're in a digital marketing world, and estate agents need to be as well. But the biggest problem there is, where do I get content, and how do I get it all the time?
Yeah, and that's the consistency,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
So it's kind of on tap for our subscribers, that we know they can put something out 5 times a day, every day if they want, but we know that's not realistic.
Yeah.
So lots of refresh on existing materials, lots of new data sets, lots of new outputs, and then a massive year next year. We've been acquired in the last year by a company.
I had heard.
Yeah, by a company called Price Hubble. A very good property data company.
They deal with data too, right? Yeah.
So they're property data focused, and that's exciting because it means they're going to be moving into the UK market. They already are.
Right.
And we will have more products to add. So
amazing, right.
They have an AVM, they have property specific data, and we will be able to offer not only that what we are well known for, which is the local market updates and analysis, but also property specific data.
So would it be a case of, maybe, like, I'm looking to buy a house that you said you just bought recently, that I could glean lots more data just from that one property I'm looking at, like, in the future, maybe? Or will it give me sort of I don't know, like surveyors reports and stuff like that? Or what's involved with more data? Because it seems that you do all the data anyway. But
so they will be able to, so they can go right down to property specific level with their platform. You can bolt on a valuation model onto your website from it. You can look at comparables in the area. So yeah, it's the property specific bit that we've wanted to add for a long time. So now we've got the ability to report on markets and specific properties. So
streets, lots of houses.
So we should be we will be in a position where we can work with an agent kind of along right through the journey, really. So from helping them to win business, win valuations, to staying in touch with those people, nurturing them along in the journey as well.
Yeah,
so
very
we'll have
important.
lots of touch points.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I thought your platform was pretty self-explanatory and easy to navigate anyway. But obviously, that's I guess, like, that's the point of like Web3, isn't it? Just making that user interface and that user interaction just easier, less stressful, and just more, I don't know, intuitive, really. A bit like when I use Apple products, I find that I go to do something and it's there where I thought it was. And yeah, I'll be interested to have a look at that when it's all sort of...
Yeah, it's all based on feedback from subscribers.
Perfect.
So it's, what's going to make their lives easier, easier navigation, what sort of content did they want added? To bolster what they already do.
And you guys also run training as well, don't you, on how to use
so we run every Friday. You can tune in for a training webinar, but when people come on board, we do individual training as well. We share lots of hints and tips about how to make the most of the content as well.
Yeah, because I guess, I mean, you hear about it with sort of CRMs of the past where they're like Ferraris, but most agents are using them like Fiestas because don't really know what it can do for you. Whereas, like, companies like you, like, and other companies I know of, that will specifically go to a branch maybe, or a group day and say, right, this is how you do this is how you do that. And like you say, you can log in for some training on a Friday as well. So
I think, I mean, it's great having the content, but it's also can be bewildering.
Yeah, because
to know what to do with it. Yeah, so we're really focused on, let's give you really simple plans. If you've got a big marketing team or a marketing manager, great.
Yeah,
the world's your oyster.
Yeah,
you can plug this content across all your marketing channels. If you're a single self-employed agent doing marketing as 20% of your job, start off with 2 or 3 really simple actions. Yeah,
because it'd be quite, I mean, we've got a few staff now, but I mean, in the early days, be quite overwhelming trying to post at least once a day, especially if you're out doing the job, like filming for us back in the day. But actually, if you really want to engage with the people that are engaging with your socials or your videos or whatever you're putting out, you need to have that interaction with them. And it's no good getting back to someone who's left you a nice little comment like a week later, because that's sort of gone then. And visual media, it's just it's on the rise, and you think, well, how far can it go? But
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the challenge for agents with video content is, what do I say?
yes,
You know,
yeah.
and that's where we help them.
Well,
Hopefully.
yeah, because
But, you know, you've kind of got a script in front of you.
Mm,
I mean, I'm not saying you should just, well, you can do videos that just talk about the market. And we've created a lovely animated
yes,
video
we have,
between you
yeah.
guys and us,
Mm.
which is a 1 minute kind of roundup of what's happening in the local market. Really, you should include in your video something about the local property market and what's
so.
happening in it
Yeah.
to add some kudos to it. But where do you do that? Where do you get them? So, you know, it could be as simple as just print off a report and read the local bit.
Yeah.
And it's not always the right market to talk about pricing.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah.
So we try and we provide lots of different variations of outputs and content as well. So you could talk about local demographics, or you could talk about an interesting trend in the new build sector or whatever. So it's important to mix it up. And
Yeah, because if you're just banging on about price, because a house is, I mean, as Chris Watkins says, I'll mention him again, it's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like your agent might put it on at X, and you might get offers over or no interest at all. But if you can just step away from the number and sell the lifestyle as well, or the location, then you're sort of winning some of the battle, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we had an infographic recently, which was about what are the best things you can do to add value to a property. And that's something that's always on people's minds when they're thinking about selling. And you could easily have that in front of you and do a 1 minute video.
Yeah.
Just our top tips for what adds the most value to your property.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's about, you know, coming up with that from scratch would be a nightmare. So
it's almost sitting down to write a book and not know when to start, when actually you've almost got a couple of crib sheets, cheat sheets where you can, and also, like you just mentioned, alluded to there, like for anyone who hasn't made video recently or ever, it can be scary and daunting, but also if you've got a little script, then it just takes that pressure off knowing what you're going to say.
You know, if you've got something in front of you and it's very tight,
yes, and
you've got 3 paragraphs to read or whatever it is, then you're likely to stay under a minute. And I think you don't want to be much more than that. If you haven't got a script and haven't got a plan, and you start waffling on, you're going to lose.
Yeah, sometimes on this podcast, believe it or not, like Nick will joke with that. I sometimes get caught in creative quicksand where I can hear myself talking. I'm thinking, where's this point going? Yeah. But yeah, listen, I'm glad it's going so well. I'm looking forward to everything that's going to drop in the autumn, and sounds like an even bigger and better year next year.
Yeah, lots going on.
Yeah, and just, I mean, it's super useful. It's such a powerful tool. Where can people find out and have a trial of it, maybe?
Yeah, so just get in touch with Dataloft. We can do a quick tour for anyone, 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
that's probably the best thing to do, is just have a little discovery call with us.
Excellent. Well, thanks for popping down.
That's right.
We'll do it again sometime.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.